2 years ago, was around the time where I was in the starting phase of, you know, deconstructing, that's there's something I want to say about stuff, you know, the deconstruction process that I did for myself has really helped me understand things in a much better, more rational way. Alright. But, I used to be like over 2 years ago, I used to be like a crazed, conspiracy minded person that would believe all this end times bullshit, you know? I would believe all these ridiculous stuff. But, it's just. Man. The thing is, my view of the universe is more of an agnostic kind of view, I am certain that a divine being does exist, but it's nothing like what the religious people make it out to be. You know, there was the evolution of understanding, and there's some people that just don't want their their worldview to be challenged. They just don't want their worldview to be challenged whatsoever. So the thing is, what evangelists think are the truth really isn't. Mm-hmm. I understand that deconstructing Christian faith is incredibly hard, but I'm not saying you have to stop believing in God. That's not the point. I mean, what is something that you should stop doing is pushing beliefs on other people. You know, I was raised Anglican Christian, but I didn't go to any Catholic school or anything like that. And what we're taught in schools were more secular stuff, which is easily I was introduced to this whole atheist subjects, and then this whole culture wars of the whole 2010s began, and I was really naive to trust people like Paul Joseph Watson and Alex Jones and other weird conspiracy theorists, and that just, yeah, you can transition from secularist to evangelist, and then you can just transition from evangelist to secularist. And my belief on the universe is rather secularist. It's pretty interesting. There's this guy I know who used to critique Professor Dave explains, and his name is Timmy Gibson. And he went through this deconstruction process, which is like one of the coolest things out there, you know. He did the deconstruction process around the same time I did. All right. Yeah. In a way, I have kind of some beliefs from other kind of points of views, you know. But I have this feeling that whoever causes the most suffering onto others, you know, they don't have to live the suffering themselves. They can just cease to exist. While those who, yeah, well, those who live a good life can live something rewarding or something along the lines of that. But then again, it's not a guarantee. It's just a theory. Yeah. Honestly, like when you know, it was like even before the whole Notion Tohoshi thing, I was in the midst of starting deconstruction, knowing that there's something going on that's wrong. It seems to be wrong, and with this whole Notion Tohoshi thing, made me think. Wonder who I truly am. Honestly, made me question myself. You know? Yeah. You know, back in the day, like Timmy Gibson, I used to be an anti-vaxxer too. That that changed, especially with Professor Dave's videos, like deconstructing the propaganda about vaccines. But yeah, you know, there's this you know, like evangelicalism, like people are still caught in this Christian evangelicalism, like are either naive or like dumbfounded, yeah, both or whatever, like, or they can be like manipulative or something along the lines of that. In my case, I was just very naive, and then I was like I've been pretty naive. I mean, the term Christian didn't want to be called as is naive, but I'm confident to say that I was naive. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Someone found a stable plasma. Yeah. People like to say about the end times, oh, the rapture's gonna happen and stuff like that. They've done this so many times and it just never fucking happens. It just never fucking happens, you know? It would warn me, oh, I would burn in a lake of fire for, not believing a certain way they want to believe. You know? Like, yeah. Armageddon End Times is a fictional made up event by Christians. It's complete horseshit. Yeah. You know, the thing is, you're not gonna know what's after death until it happens. Happens to you, okay? I know some people like to rage bait Christians into telling them, "Oh, there's no afterlife" or something along the lines of that, but that's not what I think. Kiko AI drama again and again. Oh my god. You see, like this whole like Facebook AI slop was really the spark that fucking started my deconstruction. That and the dead internet theory, you know? Kikuo and this whole AI thing. Like, come on, man. Just drop the AI shit already. Like, I fucking spent like, 500 US dollars plus shipping fees plus tariffs for the fucking vinyl. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh, come on, man. Ugh. Sorry about that. Yeah. But yeah, people say it's going to be like the end times or something along the lines of that. Let's be for real, man. Homo sapiens, all right, are the last of its kind in the home. Something fell or something. I don't know. That's kind of scary. But Homo sapiens are basically the last in this whole homogeneous stuff, and eventually they're gonna go extinct. I think we've reached this point now where humanity itself may be going through a reversal in this human evolution and stuff. It's gonna be like more obsolete, I guess. I was talking with a fellow neighbor next door. He's an atheist. You know, he predicts that like humans may not live the next 10,000 years. I think we're past the peak of the point of human civilization, and we seem to be more obsolete. Seem to have pushed the limits of what we can achieve. I think that's the real end times. It has nothing to do with the rapture. It's nothing to do with all this. It is nothing. It's nothing about that. Alright. Now, the next few years or few decades, would it be more hellish than what we are in right now, or could this be a renaissance? I think what we're actually experiencing is potentially a collapse of an empire. Specifically, I think the collapse of the American empire. Americans have like a stronghold on the world as it became a superpower. Basically, America just controls the world, and also being the one that controls the world happens to be the one that killed off most of the world with its ideology of capitalism. Like, American history throughout, its ancestors, and, like, God bless America. I love that land, the land that I love. 500 years of slavery, 100 million dead. Genocide of Native Americans, 50 million dead. Children killed by preventable disease, 5 million every year. Children killed by hunger, 6 million every year. Global poverty, 18 million every year. Vietnam War, 3 million dead. Korean War, 2 million dead. Angolan Civil War, 1.5 million dead. Indonesian Civil War, 1 million dead. Mozambican Civil War, 1 million dead. War in Afghanistan, 500,000 dead. East Timorese crisis, 200,000 dead. Iraq wars, 1 million dead. Intervention in Guatemala, 100,000 dead. Intervention in Nicaragua, 100,000 dead. Intervention in Sri Lanka, 100,000 dead. Intervention in El Salvador, 60,000 dead. Intervention in Argentina, 30,000 dead. Support in Iran-Iraq war, 1.5 million dead. Cuban embargo, 47,000 dead children. Libyan war, 50,000 dead. And literal slave markets. U.S.-Mexican war on drugs, 47,000 dead. War on terror in Pakistan, 50,000 dead. Sanctions on Iraq, 3.3 million dead. Syrian civil war, 500,000 dead. ISIS foreign terror, 1.2 thousand dead. Drone strikes, 2.5 thousand dead. American soldiers since World War II, 150,000 dead. And yeah, it even says over 2 billion murdered by capitalism. And this is the state that's been shoving Christian evangelicalism down your throats. Mind you, and we're here seeming to be witnessing the collapse of the American empire And that's why it's trying to do all this age verification and all this other digital ID stuff just to try to retain the control that they have. Basically, this is not the end times that Christians are saying it is. It's really just a collapse of an empire, a system reformation. Like 2 billion murdered by capitalism, that is worse than the communist states where they said to have had hundreds of millions of people dead. America is the biggest mass murder state in the world. Alright? That is more than Nazi Germany, more than Stalinist Russia or Soviet Union. That's more than Pol Pot's Cambodia, basically. Even more than religion. You know? Capitalism is the deadliest ideology, and we're witnessing the collapse of that ideology. And people are saying, that's the end times. And then the rapture's gonna happen. And shit like that. No. That's far from the truth. Will you buy GTA 6? Hell no. Hell fucking no. I ain't gonna buy GTA 6. I don't even own a Gen 9 console. I don't even own a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. I don't own those consoles. I don't even own a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. I don't even own those either. I don't really play video games. Will you buy Ready to Hell 2? Probably. I would rather buy Ride to Hell Retribution than Grand Theft Auto 6 any day. That's just how it is. So yeah, and I'm very, very upset that many people bought Grand Theft Auto 5. No, well, not really bought, more like rented Grand Theft Auto 6. What do I not like about Grand Theft Auto 6? The fact that it doesn't have a physical copy, and the fact that if you buy it, you don't even own it. Basically that they don't treat your copy of Grand Theft Auto 6 like it's your own, and Rockstar can revoke it at like any time. They don't treat your property as your own. It has more to do with that rather than the game design, you know, which is probably going to be a shitty game. I mean, it's been in development hell for quite some time. It's like the Duke Nukem Forever of Grand Theft Auto, you know. And the fact that Rockstar has made like a limited sale of this, like limiting supply for the demand of the game, is just ridiculous. The fact that there's even a demand for this game is absolutely fucking absurd. It's just fucking ridiculous. That's what capitalism enables, this shit like this. I'm 26. Okay? There's no way in hell I'm gonna buy Grand Theft Auto 6. No way in hell. I ain't gonna give in to buying games where they clearly state that they don't treat the game like your own. That's why I don't even own like a Switch 2. Okay, Nintendo doesn't treat games like it's your own. They just don't. In 159 years, Canada has never been more united. That's because an adjudicated rapist and convicted felon threatened to make us the 51st state. From coast to coast, we're proud to be Canadian and interested in the daily obituaries. Happy Canada Day. Fuck Donald Trump. I fucking hate people who present AI slop as if it's real. I'm gonna report this post for spam. Like seriously, you think that these fucking lasers are the things that cause like an earthquake in Venezuela? This this fucking this fucking footage looks nothing like Venezuela. Looks fucking nothing like Venezuela. Like people use AI slop to advance their conspiracy theory bullshit. Tornado happened in Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. Canada's gonna play against Morocco. And, yeah. Mexico has won against Ecuador. I'm hoping that I'm. If you don't play video games, what entertainment do you currently hold near and dear to your heart? You don't need to play video games to be entertained. Or to be occupied. I've been doing some other stuff, you know, planting gardens. I've recently started doing that. You know, the rainwater has helped the plants grow quite well. It's been a rainy month last month. But yeah, yeah. It's been quite a rainy month. You know, I can just always do some learning and stuff like that to keep myself occupied. Studying. It doesn't have to be video games. I mean, putting money aside, any, any you had the choice to freely choose. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing video games. I still play video games from there and there, but I'm just not the gamer that I used to be. And basically, now's the best time to be pirating video games. Grand Theft Auto plays best on PlayStation 5. Pre order and get ready for launch. Fuck off. Give us the disc. Yeah, like PlayStation is just a fucking joke, man. Uh, do you enjoy reading? Actually, I enjoy reading more and more, actually. You know, once I move into the new house, I will eventually get access to the books again because I've been doing some packing. There's this one book about how trees like shape much of the earth, you know, and it's really mind blowing. Yeah. Yeah. Books are definitely the best value for money entertainment that can never be taken away from you. Yeah. Well, to be honest, nowadays, like, I kind of have to be careful when buying books. Have to look at the publication date because many people are using large language models to just write their books, just making slop. People like to flood AI slop into everything that just where it just doesn't belong. You know, they put it in places where they just don't belong. Yeah, Generation 9, ninth generation is basically the worst gaming generation. You know, that's why this is part of the reason why we have so many like games backed up and archived on archive.org. That's why we have so many games backed up and archived so people can play them. You know? Even like really, really, really obscure games that no one ever heard of, like Denshi no Hohoemi. Like that was a game from 1996, a visual novel, you know. And just burn it onto a disc and it'll play. For some games, you know, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, you can burn that on a disc and it will play. Assuming you're using the right console, you know. You can do it with any game. Bubsy 3D, again, burn it on a disc, you can play. Now with cartridges, that's a little bit harder to do than, and that's why you have emulators for those things. And Nintendo is like so against emulation. Yeah, reading is the best thing to shield from the brain. But keep in mind there's some books that are pure propaganda. Many of them are written by conspiracy theorists who don't even like, because they have like access to AI, they can just mass produce a bunch of slop. Yeah, AI slops are low quality How fucking ironic. Oh wait, is that? Yeah, that an AI generated answer even says AI slop books are low quality match generated titles creating generative AI tools like ChatGPT created using ChatGPT and Midjourney, which are flooding online retailers like Amazon and libraries. So even the AI is saying that. Yeah, like there's like a Wikipedia article. In February 2023, the science fiction magazine Clark's World had to temporarily close short story submissions after receiving massive amounts of AI spam. Yeah. On Amazon, there are many AI generated mushroom foraging books being sold. These books often contain inaccurate and distorted AI generated images of mushrooms. Yeah. If you're a narcotic consumer, you're a slave. I agree. Yeah. Fight Club is a fantastic movie. Yeah. Late Night with the Devil. Yeah. That was a movie that had a screenshot of an AI generated image. And let's see how the ratings go with this. Um, okay, it's a 7.0, but yeah. Oh. Oh man. Yeah. Mm. Wow. AI generated songs are like charting and shit. Of course, vibe coding and shit. Ah.